Setting it up. Okay. All right, we're streaming live. I'm just waiting for the stream to pop up on my screen. Okay, we are live. I'm going to make sure that I can see comments from people on the Facebook page. As we wait for people to tune in, we are live on Facebook. So I've brought with me tonight a few guests. Hi, Natalia. So I've brought a few guests with me to talk about their experience with Couch to 5K training, and particularly with training with me and or locally here in South Orange, Maplewood area, Millburn, Livingston, wherever you're coming from, or far beyond all of that. We have an opportunity for you guys to be able to do a Couch to 5K training plan that might just change your life. And so these ladies, if you can't see them in the live yet, I will make them, you will be able to see them. I've got a couple people with me. So right now I'm just spotlighting myself so I can welcome you into the live. I see 2 people are joining us so far, so that's awesome. If you're catching this on the replay, you can absolutely ask any questions about 5K training, our meetups, what that looks like in the group in the comments below, and I will get to you later. This is an interactive live where you'll be hearing from me, you'll be hearing from past participants of the Couch to 5K program who continue to run today, talk about sustaining a running program since January. Whoa, if you can imagine that. So as we continue to invite and welcome people in, I just want to say hello. It's super awesome to see how many people joined and who are excited about starting a 5K program. I've got Lindsay says that she is, oh, something just popped up. Super new and excited and super scared to run. Lindsay, you don't have to be scared. Don't worry. I was scared too. So let me share with you guys a little bit about my story, and then we'll get to hearing from past participants and let you know how you can get involved, how you can get started, and how you can change your life just by taking a few steps towards your health. All right, so it wasn't too long ago that I thought to myself, my body hurts, I'm overweight, I'm afraid to run, I can't go far and I can't go fast, I'm too out of shape, I can't start now, it's too dark, it's too cold, right? So all of those excuses are definitely excuses that have been in my head and in my body before. And it takes a lot to overcome that. The ladies that are here today that have trained with me since January have been able to get themselves out of those mindsets. So if any of those things I just said have been you, then you'll have a chance to hear from women that have also felt just like you. They're now in their runners' bodies. They're in their health bodies, they're on their health journeys. It's not an end goal, it is a journey. And I'm going to show you how you can start and sustain not just a running program, but one that's going to empower you in your life and in your mind towards your greater health goals. It's not just about running a 5K, it's about accessing what is possible inside of your body, whether it's just feeling better, losing weight, eating better, connecting with other people in such an isolated time. This 5K program offers all of that. So let me know if you are watching, if you're going to stick with me, you're going to stick with us, and you're not going to give up on yourself this time, because we aren't going to let you do that. I don't want you to give up on a training plan. I don't want you to let the excuses get in the way of your joy and anything that is possible for you. So once again, welcome to the info session. And why don't you guys start, for those of you who are watching, just start by sharing. What are your goals for joining us? What was appealing to you about the post you may have seen on Maplewood Moms? What is appealing to you about doing a Couch to 5K program? What's appealing to you about running? What are you thinking you want to get out of this? And as I wait for Facebook, which is a little delayed, to gather some of your responses, I'm going to go ahead and take myself off spotlight and welcome our, let's see, did I remove the spotlight? I'm gonna have to wait and see if Facebook puts it into the gallery mode. Let's see. So guys who I just took you out of my spotlight. Oh, yay, it worked. Oh, I see all of you. Okay, here's Michelle and Christy and Galit and Erica and Katie are joining us. Welcome, ladies. Galit has been doing 5Ks with me for like 3 years, ever since I moved to Maplewood. Michelle, Christy, Erica, and Katie all joined in January on a super snowy, dark morning. probably half of them posted in the Facebook group and said, are we actually running tomorrow? And I said, yes. And they did it anyway. So ladies, as we start to welcome people in and it's their first time thinking about doing this and what might be scary for them, what were your goals in joining a 5K program? When you saw the post on Maplewood Moms last year from Allison Weiss, what were you thinking? Why did you show up that day? Can somebody begin either why you showed up Michelle?
I mean, I can start. I had been doing some stuff with my health the year before. And as I was coming into the new year for this year, I was thinking about getting moving because I really wasn't fit and I wasn't exercising. You know, I felt a little bit healthier because of nutritional changes and things like that. But so I had been kind of brainstorming, what am I going to do really to literally get off the couch at the beginning of the year. So it was like a New Year's resolution. And I saw Allison's post. And it was just one of the things that I thought, well, that's possible. I could possibly show up for that. And I think you had an orientation in your studio the week before, or the night before, right? In that space. So that was when we could still gather together, right? So that was what I was thinking, is how do I get moving this year? Yeah. I really had no idea what to expect, but I thought, you know, it was something to try.
Yeah, and we'll get into how your expectations shifted over the time and the health that you welcome into your life now a little bit later. Erica, Katie, Christy, or Galit, would you like to share? Yeah, Galit.
Well, I started way back with your first Couch to 5K, and it was after my son was born. Well, he had been, I think, close to 2 by then, but I needed to get moving, and I had never run before, and I didn't feel up to joining a gym. I didn't feel up to I didn't know what I could do. And you were like, why don't you try this Couch to 5K? And I'd never, ever run before. And it was an amazing experience. And I literally have been running ever since. It's been great. But a lot of the runners, a lot of people have run before. I was never a runner, even in my youth. So it was the first experience, but it really eases you right into it. So really anyone can do it.
Yeah. One more? Yeah.
Also say, so I was a quote unquote runner in my 20s just by going to like team and training stuff in the city. And I realized, like, after having babies that I was no longer a runner, right? So I signed up for one of those turkey trots the November before meeting up with you all in January. And I was like, oh, no big deal. I can do this 5K. And I realized that, like, I really couldn't. So I thought this was like a great place to start over. And what I realized through this program is that, like, 5K or, you know, just in around this interval of running 5K here and there is such a good distance and goal for my body. Like, when I was in my 20s, I thought, okay, I'm going to do a 5K, then I'm going to do a 10K, then I'm going to do a half marathon, and then I train for a marathon, then I'd get hurt, then I'd be like injured for a year. And I literally like hurt myself training for the marathon in 2009. And then I never really picked up running again. So this has like helped me get back to knowing my body and like what I can handle. And I just love going, like, I'm the slow and steady. The group can tell you, like, I am just like the slow and steady. And it just makes me feel so good that I'm able to get out there and do what my body can do.
Yeah. And because we have such a great group of women, like, there's nobody who's ever left behind, right? Like, Christy described herself as slow and steady. Some days I decide I'm slow and steady, and I will also run with Christy. And sometimes I decide that I want to speed it up a little bit, and Michelle's more interested in that. Or sometimes I feel like I want to do interval runs. So there's also somebody for everybody, and we don't leave each other behind. If anybody goes forward, we go back and pick you up. The group used to be called Come Run With Me. And we really mean that. Like, we're not like, come run and watch me run an 8-minute mile. Like, we don't do that. So we come together and we support each other. And that's what it looks like in person. And virtually, now we have all of these accountability posts in the group. And then in addition to it, because I'm not accessible always to every person who wants to train in person, where I can say, hey, tuck your tailbone under, reach your hips nice and long and guide you in the stretches. I have a 12-week guide that I've developed based on the last 3 years of experience that I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit by the end of this, that you can join and then also be a part of a Monday accountability group where you feel like you're a part of something, right? Because a huge part of this, Katie and Erica, I know for you guys also was the community piece, where it was like, who are you showing up for? Who do you see every single day? And how do you show up not just for yourself, but something bigger than yourself? Would either of you be willing to talk a little bit about how that's influenced you?
Sure, because I tried for years to do it on my own. I really hurt myself running half marathons. I've never been fast. I pushed myself to be fast. I never did that. I thought I could only run on my own. And then I show up and there's a pace for everyone, and everybody's accepted, and everybody kind of we all just fit in together. So what does that mean about the community is that you start meeting these folks that you want to go, you know what? Katie's showing up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and it's 15 degrees outside. If Katie can do it, I can do it. And I know we laugh now, but you want to do it. You want to see these, your friends. You want to see these folks out there because, it's all accountability for all of us together. We all rely on each other to get us through the next mile, whether that's a walked mile or a run and walk or just a run. And so that's what the community has meant to me, is making sure that I can rely. I know these ladies will be there, and I know that I'll find my pace wherever that is. And, that me showing up looking for them is symbiotic, right? Because they show up there looking for me as well. And then we all just kind of hold each other accountable. So that's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And Katie started out, she showed up, she's like, I'm not a morning person. And this girl comes to like every workout, boot camp, couch to 5K, running, with and without me, on her own, yoga. She's like the boss of all things in the morning. Katie, how did that happen?
God, I don't know. When I joined, I actually didn't know what time you guys ran. So I joined and then found out it was at 6 a.m. And I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? And, it took me a week or two to adjust, which in hindsight is like no time at all. But yeah, now I feel like, years ago at the gym, I had these classes where if I missed it, I would be sad. And then I sort of lost that excitement of like having something that I didn't want to miss. And now I have that again where like, I missed boot camp today and I feel like, man, I totally missed out. Like I missed the fun conversations. I missed, the workout. It was harder to get going. And I just want to be there for all of it now.
Yeah. So I want you guys to imagine that running it's not just about running or the 5K. It's like when Katie said, I just want to be there for all of it. Like, what do you want to be there for? What do you want to be there for in your life? This isn't about, oh, I ran a 5K, like I can run, right? It's like, I can do life. And we have these conversations with each other, particularly on the Monday morning mindset days and beginning of boot camps and in the emails that I send out that go along with these programs. How can I be here in my life? And how is this a part of that? That's how you sustain habit change. And that's how you invite the joy in, instead of just saying, I'm going to, lose 5 pounds by running. You know what? No, you're going to invite joy in now, and you're going to do whatever it is that you want. And that's going to invite in whatever body or whatever it is that you want to curate for yourself. You do that from a place of love, joy, compassion, companionship, right? Accountability, friendship, all that. That's where all of that comes from. And you don't have to do it alone. So let's go ahead and see. I'll read out a couple of comments about what people have written in response to that. So Rohini said, sweaty selfies. Jillian said, this is so amazing to hear. So thank you, ladies, for your vulnerability. You're already making such an impact. Natalie gave some heart eyes or star eyes. Rohini says the crew. Yes, Rohini joined us also recently, not in January, but more recently than that, is now also a part of the bigger community. Now I can't open up, how many comments do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, it says I have 7. So let's see if I can click that and open them up.
While you're doing that, I'll just address the fact that I have a madhouse, as you can see, babies and dogs. And the early morning, I will add to Katie's point, is that like I was so hesitant to get up in the morning, but as Helen will teach you, it's like your me time. And so it's like the only time I have for me. So not the 2-year-old, not the dog, not the 5-year-olds. It's like such a quiet moment. I have my coffee, I go for my run. So anyway, you guys just got to see a little bit of my circus.
Yeah, totally. That's such a good point, Christy, because so many people are like, I'm just not a morning person. I don't get up that early, but the truth is you don't get up early because you've decided that you're not going to get up that early. Like decide you're going to get up that early and make an adjustment the night before so you can have that time in the morning. Because when you spend that me time at night, nothing good happens, right? Our hands are in the popcorn bowl.
Yeah.
The ice cream's going down. You're up until 11 on Netflix. Is that really me time? That's like self-sabotage time. So you can flip that script and you can make your me time in the morning. It's so much better. And I know you guys can all attest to that. Right?
And it's also, you never regret it. Once you go, like even now, every morning I have that debate in my head. Oh, should I stay in? Should I stay in? Never regret it. And now for me, it's become a non-negotiable. But when I started, I used to sleep in my running clothes, as everyone used to laugh, because I wanted to like make sure that I went in the morning and I didn't have any excuses. So if I woke up and I didn't go, I'd be like, God, and I slept in my running clothes. So, but eventually it becomes a non-negotiable and you just want to go.
Yeah. So you make it non-negotiable and then it just kind of feels like, well, I'm compelled. Like, why wouldn't I go? Absolutely. Let's see if I can access the comments from this way. Okay.
I think one of the biggest surprises for me was that feeling of having accomplished something already by the time we get done running. So if we went at 6, we're done at 6:30, and looking around and saying it's only 6:30. Like I've already done something really hard this morning that I never would have done before. Get ready for work, and then that's been a huge shift for me, which I love.
Yeah. Sure. Is there anything better than feeling like a badass before 7 a.m.?
Yeah,
feeling like I close my exercise ring and like I've done it.
Yeah, a badass before 7 a.m. The morning miracle. Jillian says, I've never been a runner because of intimidation, but you all make this seem possible.
Oh,
yeah, that's what we do. We make it possible.
It's totally possible.
Totally possible.
So, let's talk about how it's possible, right? So the Couch to 5K method, for those of you who aren't familiar, is a walk, jog, interval method that slowly progresses you from walking more than jogging into jogging more than walking, and then jogging a 5K towards the end. But in my experience and with my body and with other women, the way that we actually sustain it is by following not a calendar in order to get to that 5K goal, but to treat it as a journey and to figure out where are the intervals that work for me. And so while most plans are 9 weeks and they're really rigid and stiff, you may find that you get to week 4 and you're like, wow, this feels really good. It feels really good to run 3 minutes in a row and to walk for a minute. But when I run 5 minutes and I walk 2 minutes, then something is starting to hurt. So why would you continue that way just to your target goal to a 5K? It means that something's off, right? And the guide that I've written for you is going to show you all of the places and the things and the adjustments and the freedom you can find in your body and in your mind to be able to discover that and to decide that you're a runner, whether you're running a 5K in a row or you're on week 4 perpetually, maybe for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you treat this as a journey to find out what's accessible and sustainable to your body. It's a confidence building exercise to invite movement into your body. Lindsay says she has a 2 and a 5-year-old. That's her biggest excuse. Yeah, right? Yeah, totally. They wake up at 6:30 and need mommy. Yeah, but mommy needs mommy, right? Mommy needs mommy before the kids. So good news is, yeah, Christy.
Oh, I'll say this. So my kids used to freak out, Lindsay, when I left for my runs. And now it's been a while, but now when I come back, it's like, you sweaty with Helen? That's what they said. You sweaty with Helen?
That's so cute. Yeah. I mean, you guys influence your kids too. I mean, all these ladies are also in my boot camp and you'll see their kids in the background. Ezra, Galit's son, comes up at the end of every boot camp. He's doing jumping jacks. Erica's kids are doing handstands in the background. Katie's kids are leading us in meditations. Christy's got pictures of her kids doing stuff with us. You know, Michelle's kids are older, but her daughter runs with us on Saturdays now. I mean, what they need is for you to show up and be the best version of yourself, because they want to mimic that. They want to install the things in their life they see you doing. So what do they really need? They need mommy to do the same thing mommy did, or they need mommy to show up and to be the best version of herself and to lead by example so that they want to do those things too, right? And so our idea of what needing mommy is can change and shift, and that can be okay. And it might be really uncomfortable at first. It might feel like so-and-so mommy's going for a run, and it's changed. It's different. It's just as hard for you as it might be for them, but they're going to get really curious about that, and they're going to get used to it. And then they're going to want to join you. And how beautiful is that to be able to set a stage like that, right? That they want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of you. That's all it is. They don't want the same thing all the time. They just want to be a part of you. So know that that can come for sure. And it comes quickly as well.
I couldn't agree with you more, Helen. That happens all the time. When I started coming, I was like, well, I don't think I could take the time away from the kids. I really got to get them ready. But it didn't work out that way. I felt, as Katie said, at 6:45, I'm feeling like a badass ready to conquer the day. Well, that helped me get the kids ready for school, get the lunches pulled together. Everybody was in a good mood because I started the day off right. I set the tone for the entire day. And then I go to work. Now I've accomplished two things. I ran, I'm a badass. I got my kids off to school, and I'm doing my job now. It's fantastic. And you're ready just to jump in and take any challenge that comes your way. So you start going, all right, I did a little bit today. I'll do a little bit more tomorrow. And you just feel so good. And then your kids feel good. And it just kind of spreads through the house, that really great feeling of everybody here is healthy. We're in a healthy mindset, and we're all in it together. And then that's when the kids start, participating as well. So I love it.
Yeah, they see that. And particularly with the mindset piece, right? Where you have the ability of showing up to do the things that are hard and to show them that you're doing hard things. And, look what mommy's done. And this is what we're doing together. It's amazing, really, the ripple effects that you can have with your own family, particularly when we're all stuck in a house together.
And when I'm going to say the non-negotiable again. Now my kids ask me, what are you doing what did you do this morning? Did you do boot camp? Did you run? Did you do yoga? So it's just like, what did you do? Not, are you going to do?
Yeah, it's a part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Woo! You're lighting fires up. Natalie says she's been a runner almost all of her life. She did track in high school, lost a lot of the zeal over the years, kids, work, husband, health issues, but this discussion is really turning on her fire. Woo woo. Awesome. So I just want everybody to know it's obvious that joining this is really about finding your place in your body, in your family, in your community, with yourself. Also challenging yourself and feeling like you're up to the challenge, setting those non-negotiables and showing not just yourself, but your family, like who's showing up today? Somebody who's going to go out and going to go get some fresh air and run. And what kind of impact can that make on them as well? As you can see, joining this group is way more than running. You can go on a joyful running journey. You understand what your body needs, what it requires to thrive, and be really intentional about the habits that you're changing in 2021. We've been getting the funk out with the run challenge here in December. But if you haven't been a part of that, then those kinds of challenges will come up next year also. But we got to put the work in first and do a little bit of walk, running, explore your body, find out what stretches and what strengthening exercises are going to work for you and help you feel good. If you want to sustain your running body, these other parts are also a part of making sure you're taking care of yourself. When my body was kind of falling apart a couple of years ago in Brooklyn, I did a training with the National Association of Sports Medicine, and I took all of the information they gave me, all of my health coaching information, and all of my life coaching and mindset work, and I put it together in this 12-week program. And this is how I speak with women in their lives in order to use this stuff to empower you, and also to have the correct running form, warm-up exercises, post stretches, core work, and all of the things that are necessary so your body feels put together, right? Like it's hard to just go out for a run. That's what I tried doing after I had my second kid. I was like, I just need to get outside. I went for a run. My knees hurt, my hips hurt. And I was like, but I want this to be accessible. That doesn't mean I'm not a runner. It means I'm not accessing the right things. So allow yourself to be curious and open and access the right muscles and the right stretches for your body. And again, that's available in the 12-week intimate course that I provide to you guys. So yeah, I mean, you guys have already kind of talked about this, the unforeseen gifts that you've given yourself since joining in January, but what do you think is the number one key to sustaining it, really?
I think for me, it's been all the other things besides running that are necessary for me to be able to get up in the morning and run. Like I want to do it. And whether we're running as a group or we're doing it virtually, I want to be able to get that feeling of getting out and running. But, you know, so thinking about things that we talk about like sleep, or I don't sleep in my running clothes, Galit. I would if I had to, because I know that you did that with success, but you know, I put my stuff out at night, or I make sure that I'm not eating really late at night so that I can sleep. So all these things start kind of feeding into it. And that I think has been the most key things, everything except the running, that just enables me to do that one thing for that 20 minutes, half an hour. But it kind of seeps into the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. How else do you guys sustain it? I mean, being a part of this group, right? Being a part of the fabric of the group and showing up. And a part of this program is the accountability post that'll be in the Facebook group in the events tab, where I'll say, you know, virtual accountability Monday, local accountability and meetup Wednesday, local accountability meetup on Saturday. So you guys will have the option to show up virtually and just track on your own, but along with the camaraderie of the group, or to show up in person, as long as numbers feel safe enough for us. And the South Mountain Reservation, which we do on Saturdays, continues to be open. So all of that stuff, of course, is a little bit up in the air, but we are planning on meeting locally with masks and doing these portions of the runs together in the exact succession. Christy, were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say in terms of sustainability, like my whole life, I've struggled with weight probably since I'm 8 years old, right? So it's like, this has been more for me like an emotional journey. Like I've done like binge exercising my whole life, and I've been like a size 2 and a 4 and a 12 and like when I came last January, like I had gotten up to a 16, 18. Like it's just like, you know, I have been every size, every weight, and I felt every way about my body. And I just feel like I was getting to the place where I was like, okay, you know, like I'm bigger, but I, you know, like I like my body, it's fine. Like, but I would like to move, yada, yada, yada. But like, what I realized is that like my body was hurting. And I didn't really like know how badly until I started working with you. And like, I just feel like it's been more of an emotional journey, I guess is all I'm trying to say. Like for everything I've done over the past like 35 years, trying to like find my fitness self, like this finally is like the key for me. And it's not about like better and faster and more and, you know, what you can accomplish, like what size you can be. And like, it's just kind of about like joy. And I know that sounds like is that so cheesy? But like, especially coming at a weird year where like it was devoid of joy in so many ways, like this is like such a thing that I could look forward to. And like the weight was secondary. Like, I mean, I lost 30 pounds. Like, I'm not like afraid to tell everybody like I've lost 30 pounds, but like, I'm just not in pain anymore. Like my joints don't hurt, my knees don't hurt. Like I don't feel gross and sluggish and bloated. And like, I don't have, it just, I feel good, you know, like, so it's the sustainability for me is like, and I keep on hearing the word non-negotiable. It's like, I'm just not going to go back to that. And for me, the key has always been like movement. Cause like with the movement, like then the food comes and the movement's like the number one. So if anybody else like out there needs to hear that story, I feel like this has done more for me than like, I don't know, 20 years of therapy. So bad to say. So I've really like enjoyed it, honestly. And the sustainability factor is just because I feel good. So I want to get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Christy. And Christy also works with me in a group setting through my signature program, the Energetic Eating Method, which Erica came through as a one-on-one and into group. And so, anybody who's willing to, to share that story, we can definitely have another conversation about that another time. Thank you for making yourselves known. So, a huge part of the journey, of course, also is a lot of us who enter into a movement journey. It's also about the food, and it's about our relationship with food, but really that's the relationship we have with ourselves. So thank you, Christy, for talking about that, because anybody who's interested, I have a lot of options for you guys to get involved, from virtually free to working with me in a nutrition and whole body, mind, and movement sense. So why don't I get into all of those different ways now? Well, first of all, we have swag. Everybody loves swag. So if you want to be a part of the Team Energetic Way, whoop, whoop, if you're excited right now, just get the swag, and we'll post our pictures and you can wear your high performance fleece and be a part of it. I just put the link in the comments. It's a custom ink order. I don't get any of this money. This is purely just for your fleece. And so that's a part of being together. And so we can post our sweaty selfies with our fleeces on and get really super excited about that. So if you want the swag, click on the order form. I'm submitting the order by Friday, so you have 4 days to order that. But I know these ladies have gotten their order in. I've definitely gotten mine in. So
can't wait for my swag. I know that's
I'm so excited.
I'm all about the swag. All about it.
Swag time. So we can blow up our feed with swag fleeces. So that's one way of getting involved. The other option is doing it on your own and holding yourself accountable through our group. So I'll just go ahead and I'm going to start pasting these options in here for you. Everybody who does this program with us, please download the app. My favorite, simple app. So you could do this on your own. It's the Couch to 5K running app. It's like $4.99 and you get it for life. So I said virtually free. This is the option one, right? So go ahead and download this app and follow us. I'll say we're doing week one. Week one, post your photo. You put your photo in, you sweaty, you take a picture, and we all cheer each other on. So you can totally do that. Again, I do a 12-week program, so there's certain weeks that I repeat. That's because life gets in the way. Look, all of us on this Zoom are mothers, and most of you probably are too. Life gets in the way, sickness, maybe some pain that you want to explore. And so we repeat a few weeks in order to be able to show up and explore that together, because that's super important. So if you want to do it on your own, that's totally cool. Everybody who wants to join the 5K, please use this app, because this is where I get my interval sets from, straight from this app. It's super simple. You can run music alongside of it, next to it, and you can choose a silly character to represent you. You can do the sergeant. I do Billy or some woman, I don't know. But this is the app that we use. Okay. Second option is the community-driven 5K to Health Empowerment Experience. So that's the guide that I've put together. That's the 12-week calendar that teaches you how to hear the needs of your unique body. It gives you the warm-up exercises, the stretches, the strengthening. I've included my favorite Sarah Beth yoga classes that I have found have helped me with my running life. I see a lot of nodding. We're like Sarah Beth addicts. I want to be your best friend. She has no idea who I am, but it's totally fine. We'll do hashtag partnership sometime soon. With that guide, you also get Monday morning accountability from me. So those of you who are virtual or local, on Monday mornings at 6 a.m., we have a little pep talk. We talk about what the guide asked you to do for that week for your body. And I send you off with a mindset to be able to go do the running on your own. If you don't get to the running on Monday, then this is still a valuable place to go to be able to talk about, to explore movement in your body, to stretch in the morning, and then to run later. So, if you don't think you're a morning person, but you want to show up for something, that's what you want to show up for. So I am going to paste option 2 in here. Let me make sure I get the link for you. Okay, and for signing up for that, because I have limited spots, you have to click on the link. So option 1, download the Couch to 5K app. Just follow us in this free group. Option 2, get the full community-driven 5K to Health Empowerment Experience. Join us on the Zooms at 6 a.m. on Monday mornings. Get the guide for the strength training, the stretching, the adjustments in your running and in your form to help you have a sustainable running life. That's in the guide, so you can look at that. Option 3, if you really want to hit it hard, you can add on strength training now. So you could train with us Monday morning, Tuesday, let's see those muscles, Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So you could add on this strength training option. Any woman over 40 or who's going through perimenopause or menopause, you really should include a strength training program in your life. I'm going to put that in here because you want to build muscle to increase your metabolism. If weight loss is a part of your journey for you, running is a great way to get into the mindset and to really like start moving the energy, the stagnant energy in your body. But if you want that to stick, strength training is a huge part of that. And a lot of my strength training and the integrated work that I do in there is for supporting your running body. Not necessary, but again, it's an option to you. I do strength training Tuesday, Thursday, all the way throughout the year. So you could start doing the Couch to 5K, and then you could do this later. So that's option 3. You could do both. And then option 4, if you guys are also sick and tired of food getting in the way of your health goals for any reason, I want you to book a call with me, a one-on-one call, because this Couch to 5K training is free when you work with me one-on-one, and the boot camp comes at a deep discount. So if you think that might be right for you, just book a call with me in the next 2 weeks so that we can get you in the program and you can do all of those things. So that's a little bit of part of what Chrissy was talking about too. So you guys have the 4 options to be able to be involved, from $4.99 all the way up to the full enchilada is what I'm showing you right here in our group. But you know, if you want to start with the Couch to 5K, that's where every single person here started there. Every person here paid $4.99 for that app, and they came and they ran on January 5th, 6th, January 6th last year. That was the first step they took. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or that you have to do anything but that. That's the golden ticket. Since then, all of these, Michelle bought the guide, and then everybody else has worked with me in some other capacity. So if you just want to start running with us and just see what this is about and see how it feels, and you want to do the other stuff, that's fine too. Everybody here started by taking one step, week 1, Couch to 5K in the beginning of January, and that is absolutely where you can start yours too. Right? Yeah, but get the swag because that's fun. That's super fun. I can't wait. The pictures are going to be awesome.
As somebody who just bought the guide though, Helen, I recommend that because of the other stuff besides the running, just to strengthen you if you're not doing the boot camp, the stretching. And there's a video each week, which you can do on Sundays or to prepare for the week. So that's really good. And then being able to see the whole group together virtually on Monday from wherever you are is a big deal, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So let's see. Are there any questions? Okay, I've got 16 comments. We'll see if I can get them to load. I know 4 of them are from me. Just take a minute and see if they pop up. Do you guys have any other closing comments for us?
I just want to say that the camaraderie is huge for me, and like the support. And when I have a lot of excuses, as everybody knows, that I'm very non-committal, and there's always a little push, and then they also know when to back away. Like there are times where we're all moms and we just can't come and it's just too much, and everybody's like, okay. And they also check in. It's like a group of great friends, and that's what's been really wonderful. But more than not, I will go. I just need that little push, and they all know that.
Yeah, it's true.
And everyone always knows my answer is first no, and then come on,
It's true. It's true. And it's like what Erica said before, like, well, where are you? What happened? Like, we get curious about that. But we also understand, like, sometimes you can't show up, and that's okay too, but we'll get you to show up next time. One morning I didn't show up Do you guys remember that? Oh my God, it was I slept through my alarm. That happened like once last year. And I hear people like screaming outside of my window. And I open up my blinds and I look out and it's Michelle and she's like, "Get off!" And I was like, "Oh my God." And I rolled out of bed. I didn't brush my teeth or anything. I put on my hat and I couldn't believe it. I don't think it was a guy. I think it was just a random meetup maybe or something like that. But yeah, it's giving me a hard time about that. I'll remember that.
And once we ran all the way to Katie's house to get her out.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Now, see, now you guys are going to
did.
scare everybody.
I know, but it was okay,
That's
right?
the
Katie,
camaraderie.
did we scare you?
That's it. That brings us together.
Yes. She said, "Don't ever do that again."
And we know when to back away.
Yeah,
We know when
I
to back
appreciate
away.
it. Can I just say something else about the sustainability?
yes, please.
The thing that I love about this is that it's not like I was definitely nervous when I first started, but today it's not scary. Like we're not out there doing these crazy amounts of miles, or like once you finish the Couch to 5K, there's always this group of 2 to 3 miles and it feels doable because of doing the Couch to 5K. And I don't feel wrecked afterwards. I feel energized. And it's just nice. Like Christy said, it's a joy. Like it's just not scary after a while.
And
Totally.
we drink a lot of coffee together. We
Oh,
forgot about
yeah.
coffee. Yeah. There's a lot of coffee. And we avoid a lot of hills. Like we're not scary at all. And I'll always be the last person in the back. So nobody, just come, just show up. It's not scary. You go join me in the back. I'm a good conversationalist. It'll be good.
Yeah, totally. It's it's really about finding what works for your body and knowing that there's other people that are in your corner. 100%. And you know, guys, I do this, I only do it 3 times a year. And like, I think it was Katie said, like after the 12 weeks, we continue to run together 2 to 3 miles. And that's what this December holiday hustle was about. Like most of the people who are doing the hustle have already trained with me. And so that's why they're continuing on. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to join the holiday hustle and I'm going to, do all these miles," because they've already trained and have installed running into their life. So after the 12 weeks, we do maintain together in between that time. It's just not a formal training period. So I like to do it, January and then the summer and then in the fall. So so join us for the January. Yeah. And download the app right now. Start week 1 now. Don't wait for January. Start week 1 right now and repeat week 1 until January 4th and be ahead of it. You don't have to wait for anything. You can start now. Lindsay says, how do we know when it's starting in the schedule? So it starts January 4th is the Monday, is the first accountability post. If you sign up for the 12-week training program in the link, then you'll start to get emails from me, but you'll get an email every Sunday. And then I'll meet with you Monday mornings. You'll have the Zoom link for that. And then there's a virtual accountability post for Mondays. So there's no official meetup for that. And then there's an official meetup locally Wednesdays and Saturdays. And you will find all of that information laid out for you in the events tab in this Facebook group. So it'll be accountability posts, or it'll say local meetup and accountability posts. And I will have, if you go into events now, Lindsay, or anybody else is curious about this, you'll see how it's laid out. And you'll see that we have, it's like the virtual accountability posts or the local meetup. It'll say Farrell Field, 7:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. or whatever like that. And then you basically just say, me, I'm in, I'll be there. And, we usually start within 2 to 5 minutes after the turn of the hour. So try to be on time because we don't want to leave anybody behind. And it's hard to keep track of everyone now that some are virtual and some aren't. So just be there or text someone and let them know you're on your way. You'll definitely make some friends. Yeah, good question. Any other, guys, what are some other questions that you could anticipate? Okay, great. Lindsay says, delivered by the reservation, you'll be banging on my door. Yeah, Yeah, we will. We will bang on your door on Saturday morning if you don't show up. We will run to your house. For sure. Awesome. Let me see. Anything else popped up? No, that's it. Are there any
what
other
about
questions?
people being worried about the weather? Worried like I was, but people may wonder about the cold and do we go rain or shine?
Yeah, so we go rain or shine. We don't go if it's ice. So if we anticipate a lot of black ice, we will not go. If it's a little bit of snow on the ground, we will go. If it rained and then it drops below 30 degrees, we'll often call it and just say it's just not safe. So we're not going to put your safety at risk. If we start running and we notice a lot of ice, then we'll just walk together. Like we'll figure it out. But we will decide usually the night before. You'll want to keep an eye out in the events post to see if it's canceled or not. But guys, how many runs were canceled last year? 2 maybe, or 1, or maybe none. I don't know. Last year was pretty mild.
My first year, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Our first year, I never even thought I could do, like, we ran in 15-degree weather, which I think, like, Helen, you'll put up a post of, suggested clothing or whatever. Like, it's totally fine as long as you have the right gear. And even if you don't, you'll be totally fine. You just take a really hot shower after.
Yeah. Sometimes it really sucks, but you still don't regret it. You're like, oh, I'm cold. And then you get home and you're great. It's fine.
I was going to say the opposite. I was really intimidated by the cold, that it was going to be so cold, but I don't think it like sucks as bad as you think it's going to suck. And I don't think you need like so much fancy gear. I actually feel like you need less than you think you need.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want that to discourage anybody from getting out there, because like really don't need that much. Like as long as you have like a beanie and some fleece and like you're good to go.
Yep. I definitely prefer the cold than the hot, personally.
Yeah, I prefer the hot. And Erica is always taking her clothes off. She can't stand being overheated.
I don't like being hot.
She doesn't like being hot. But if you really want to talk to someone who's the boss of all things clothing, Michelle knows a lot about gear, I think.
Well, I don't think everybody wants to take my advice, but I think Christy's advice is really good, because no matter what you do, you always end up being too hot. Too many layers, you get too stressed about the cold. But yeah, we do exchange ideas about socks and, under layers and all that stuff.
Yeah, shoes, stuff like that. And I'll open up some threads, in the next week. Now that you guys have the info session, I'll let people watch the replay and join and all of that, and we'll see who's in, and then we'll start generating some conversations about that, about being comfortable. But it's okay to be uncomfortable too.
I'm sorry, I have to drop off, guys.
No, I want to thank you so much. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, Galit, Michelle, Erica, Katie, for being here and sharing your experience. This is awesome. I'm sure we're going to have a great turnout this year, virtually and or locally, and I'm really excited for that. So thanks for being a part of it and continuing to do this for yourself and for others.
Thanks for having us, Ellen.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye, guys.